The Seafarer. A song I sing of my sea adventure, the strain of peril, the stress of toil, which oft I endured in anguish of spirit, through weary hours of aching woe. My bark was swept by the breaking seas, bitter the watch from the bow by night, as my ship drove on within sound of the rocks. My feet were numb with the nipping cold. Hunger sapped a sea-weary spirit, and care weighed heavy upon my heart. Little the landlubber, safe on shore, knows what I've suffered in icy seas. Wretched and worn by the winter storms, hung with icicles strung by hail, lonely and friendless and far from home, in my ears no sound but the roar of the sea. The icy combers, the cry of the swan, in place of the mead hall and the laughter of men. My only singing, the sea mule's call, the scream of the gannet, the shriek of the gull. Through the wail of the wild gale beating the bluffs, the piercing cry of the ice-coated petrel, the storm-drenched eagle's echoing scream. In all my wretchedness, weary and lone, I had no comfort of comrade or kin. Little indeed can he credit whose town life pleasantly passes in feasting and joy. Sheltered from peril, what weary pain often I've suffered in foreign seas. Night shades darkened with driving snow from the freezing north and the bonds of frost. Firm locked the land while falling hail, coldest of kernels encrusted earth. Yet still, even now, my spirit within me drives me seaward to sail the deep, to ride the long swell of the salt sea wave. Never a day but my heart's desire would launch me forth on the long sea path, fain of fair harbors and foreign shores. Yet lies no man so lordly of mood, so eager in giving, so ardent in youth, so bold in his deeds, or so dear to his Lord, who is free from dread in his far sea travel. Or of fear of God's purpose and plan for his fate, the beat of the harp and bestowal of treasure, the love of women and worldly hope, nor other interest can hold his heart, save only the sweep of the surging billows. His heart is haunted by love of the sea. Trees are budding and towns are fair. Meadows kindle and all life quickens. All things hasten to the eager-hearted, who joyeth therein to journey afar, turning seaward to distant shores. The cuckoo stirs him with plaintive call, the herald of summer with mournful song, foretelling the sorrow that stabs the heart. Who liveth in luxury, little he knows what woe men endure in exile's doom. Yet still, even now, my desire outreaches. My spirit soars over tracts of sea, o'er the home of the whale and the world's expanse. Eager, desirous, the lone sprite returneth. It cries in my ears and it calls to my heart, to launch where the whales plow their paths through the deep. But fairer indeed are the joys God has fashioned than the mortal and mutable life of this world. Truly earth's blessings are never abiding. To the day of fulfillment remaineth a doubt, whether old age or sickness or sword edge shall ravish man's life when the fall of his fate is at hand. Of memorials the noblest for men is the praise of men who survive him, who speak of his deeds. That striving on earth ere the hour of death, he carry on boldly the battle with Satan, and put to confusion the malice of fiends. So in ages long after, men still shall exalt his fame and his glory eternally gleam. Among angels forever, a splendor unending, a joy with the heavenly hosts on high. Gone are the days of the earth's grandeur and pomp. Gone are the princes and the givers of gold. The kings of the past in pageant of glory, living in splendor in lordly wise. The heroes have fallen, the hall joys have vanished. Weaker men linger, possessing the world. In days that are troubled, all glory is dead. Earth's grandeur withers and wanes in decay, as man's earthly fate droops and dwindles toward death. Old age oppresses, men's countenance pales, Gray are his locks, and he grieves in his heart for the friends of his prime, the children of princes, long since laid in the arms of earth. And the flesh at last, when the life has fled, savors not sweet, suffers not pain. The hand does not strive, the mind does not stir. Though one strew with gold the grave of his brother, with manifold treasure endowing the dead, it will not go with him, gold hoarded on earth is no help to a soul that is burdened with sin. And the terror of doomsday and dreadful shall be the fear of the judge whereby earth is transformed. For it was fashioned the firm foundations, the borders of earth and the heavens above it. Foolish is he who fears not his God. All unready he runs toward death. But blessed the heart that is humble, for mercy cometh upon him from heaven on high. His heart God will establish, who trusts in his strength. Man must rule a fierce mood and hold it in rein, loyal to comrade in cleanness of life, love of friend and hatred of foe. He must lock within limits, though longing in his heart for his dear Lord laid in the funeral flame. Firmer is fate, greater is God, than the thoughts of man can ever imagine. Let us in our hearts on our heavenly mansions, thitherward planning our pilgrimage, seeking the way to the blessed stronghold of life and joy and the love of the Lord. And thanks be to God, the giver of glory, the Lord everlasting, the holy King, who hath granted us honor through ages to come. Amen.